Ian, what can you tell us about the Steelers' decision, and where are they on contract discussions as we speak?
Well, they are nowhere as far as contract negotiations. Well, they're really not close. It's probably the best way to describe it. They just minutes ago officially applied the franchise tag to Le'Veon Bell, which is not a surprise. We've known for 2 days that this was coming, that they would make sure that their star running back was in the fold for 2018. They still would like to get a deal done, but it's complicated. Now they're going to pay him about $14 million just on a one-year deal, and what Bell wants is to be paid not just like the highest paid running back in football, which he's going to be anyway, but he wants to be properly compensated for his receiving exploits as well, really wants to be treated like a running back plus, and that's a hard deal to do. They got close last year. He ended up turning down a 5-year, $60 million deal just because of the guaranteed money, and at this point, they're going to have to go through this all over again, dealing with the uncertainty during the offseason because Le'Veon Bell, again, just minutes ago, officially hit with the franchise tag.
Ian, what do we know about the specifics of just how far they are apart? Is it years, the guarantee? If we had to pick a spot where there's the biggest gap, what is that?
At this point, it's unclear what the specific sticking point is. I do know they're several $7 million apart on a yearly basis, and that's one reason why they just were not able to bridge the gap. And part of the interesting thing here is Le'Veon Bell, in a situation that really no one expected, could find himself in the same situation as Kirk Cousins. Remember, Cousins was franchise tagged twice, then hit the free agent market, and now is one of the top available. Le'Veon Bell could do nothing and find himself in the exact same spot. Now, a little different for a running back, much more wear and tear than a quarterback. But as far as leverage goes, they actually are in somewhat similar dealings right now.
Ian, when you hear Le'Veon Bell talk about this, he brings up his ability as a receiver. Are there parallels between Jimmy Graham's situation in New Orleans a few years ago when he wanted to be evaluated as a guy that gets split out wide as well?
It's a good question. With Graham, it was more what position should he be franchise tagged at, receiver or tight end? And there were obviously arguments on both sides. In the end, he ended up signing a, I believe, 4-year, $40 million deal, mostly as a tight end. No argument with Bell on what he would be tagged at. Of course, we know he's a running back. It's just that he's probably the second best slot receiver in the NFL, probably behind Jarvis Landry, if you just look at the overall production. And that's an interesting thing, and he wants to be sort of paid for that. At this point, the Steelers have just paid him, like, by far the top running back of the NFL, but just not quite enough to actually get that deal done.
We were able to see that ability as a receiver flash in the playoffs for the Steelers just a month and change ago.